was that? Never mind that. What was that?
Hi!
Who are you?
BARFF!
Not in here, mister. This is a Mercedes.
Nah, that's my name. BARFF!
Barf? What are you?
Feedback. Is anyone getting anything different now?
Yeah, did anybody hear anything at
Anybody
all?
hear anything? Yeah, let's get some feedback on the audio. It all seems that all should be good in audio land right now. As we're getting ready to talk about the pain of week 7. Hopefully this is changing.
What do we get? Anything?
Maybe. Let me look. Let me see.
Good to go. I got
All
a good to
we
go.
got a good to go.
All right.
Yeah.
We
Let me
hear
see
you
if
now.
let's go over to the
Fantastic.
chat. We've got no chat. All right, so we're gonna talk about week 7. Well, where do you want to start talking about last week's games?
Let's start with me, and I guess
Yeah, sure.
get it over with,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, let's get this one out of the way. Born to Run, moving to 5-2 on the season, sitting in third place in that tie up at 5-2, taking out. What a surprise! The Knuckleheads. Knuckleheads dropped to 1-6, cementing themselves in 10th place. It's a 140-91 victory. Walt, tell me about your win this week.
Well, I think it's a lot about you. You know, it's the classic. If you didn't have bad luck, you wouldn't have any luck at all.
Yeah.
I can't believe both your receivers go out. I don't know what you can do anymore. It's just unbelievable.
I don't know. I make a trade. I get Fournette. Fournette gives me 3. I would have been better off this week starting Chubba Hubbard and DJ Moore over Leonard Fournette and DK Metcalf.
Oh my goodness!
I don't know what to do, and it hurts. But
yeah.
But on the other side of the ball, Walt, you put up 140 points, and you left no question. So second highest score of the week. You tied with no lineup, and only the Beans outscored you. So great week for you.
Yeah, no, it was, and the 2 running backs that I had kind of stashed now seem to have cemented themselves as the starters, even though Damian Harris was available. Stevenson really took the lion's share of the carries, so I was very happy. So overall, I mean, I like where my team's at. As far as starters go, bench is a different story, but that's a conversation for
I'm just gonna. I'll throw this out at you. Well, I've never seen this before. Your bench, 0 points on the week. 0 bench points. So there's just not, like, you put up 140. Good for you, because there was no relief coming. No backup was coming.
I guess I picked the right guys.
You did. That was. I think that is exquisite management, because you got it all out on the field.
I know. I saw that. I couldn't believe it. I'm like, well, good for me. That's all I could say.
Yeah, that's pretty good stuff right there. Let's look at which game do you want to do? We got ours out of the way.
Yeah, let's do Huey Lewis and the Pantloads. Probably, we didn't have a lot of close games. So I guess this one was maybe a little closer.
Yeah, this was in question throughout. Huey Lewis moves to 4-3.
Yeah.
Slides right into that playoff spot. They're looking playoff good right now. 101-94. A rare off performance for Sodi, who drops to 3-4. And they're now in 7th place. Surprised.
Yeah, I can't imagine he's too happy. Other than when I was kind of talking to him, I mean, he took a big hit with the bye week.
This was a bye week.
Yeah. So now when you play the Pantloads, I mean, they're pretty much going to be full force for the rest of the year.
Yeah,
so I could easily see him, flipping that record, and get to that 7-win mark. So yeah, he wasn't too hopeful going in. It ended up being close, but Fryer moved at I think he got 10 points on the last drive.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
He pulls just an average tight end game, I guess 5-6 points in the league this year.
Yep.
And he turns it into a good performance and cements that win for Huey Lewis. So that's a good story.
No, it was.
Good for Huey Lewis, and the Soats will live to fight another day. Let's look at no lineup needed. This is my shootout of the week. No lineup needed takes out worst team ever, 140-133. Neither team has any shame. No lineup stays up there with you and the Beans at 5-2. Second place overall with points scored. Worst team ever, much like Sodi, drops to 3-4. They're on that precipice. They got that last playoff spot, but it's not a firm grip. Tell us about this game, Walt.
So I always loved the garbage drives at the end of the game. Just another outcome that was determined about that. Austin Eckler must have accumulated 12 points on the last drive, and he got that garbage touchdown that was meaningless. So, that put no lineup over the edge, and it's too bad. I mean, worst team ever had a nice week, 45 points for Joe Burrow. Taylor's coming around, so I wouldn't be too worried if I were worst team ever. No. I think the pieces are starting to come together.
Right, Jonathan Taylor might get Jonathan Taylor performance out of this player.
Exactly.
Sox fan 7687 is coming out of the shadows. Is there a tier below spoiler mode? Sox fan 7687. I have a personal knowledge of this, and yes, there is a tier below spoiler mode. I currently sit there. It's a dark and cold place. Ant is looking for worst team ever tonight. Sox fan 7687 doesn't believe that the worst team ever has an excuse for not being in tonight. But look, this is what happens. They were a great guest for many weeks while they were around, and we took advantage of that. Christian's on with no lineup needed. he was down by 70. We haven't gotten he's down by 70 at some point.
Wow, that's incredible.
Thought he was going to lose. So that is the game that we're going to look at now. I mean, that was their game. 140-133, but they were down by 70.
That's incredible.
And I believe there was some chat about like Christian was looking bad.
Yeah. Oh, you're right. Yeah. I remember a couple of texts like that.
There was some fatalistic texting going on. But
when you see Joe Burrow at 45, that puts you in a hole really quick.
Yeah. But no lineup needed. They pulled it out. We'll talk about them later on. They're looking good, sitting in second place. Teams that are also let's talk about Whopper Moppers versus Springfield Rifle. Whopper Moppers at one point, maybe I'm getting this wrong. I'll double check. I believe they were 3-0.
Yes.
And they were up at the top. If not in the top spot, they were in contention.
Yeah.
And what a slide. Springfield Rifle, the totally opposite end. They're 4-3, cemented themselves in the mix for playoffs in fourth spot. They take them out 120-96 this week, Walt.
Yeah, it wasn't even really close. And it was unfortunate for the Whopper Moppers. Christian McCaffrey gets traded at the worst time. And he ends up getting 12 plays, I think, in a whole game. Which, so that hurts when you get 7 points out of your best
There have been prior owners of Christian McCaffrey that would love 7 points.
Well, I was one of them.
Yes, in
correct.
a season they would have loved 7 points. Yes.
And then, the Lions, again, were just... I mean, I knew they were going to struggle against the Cowboys. I might be biased, but that was a very tough matchup. So, yeah, that was unfortunate. I don't know. It could be trouble for the Moppers.
The Moppers are sliding hard. They need to
are.
do something to stop this. They're led by Raheem Mostert. They need to get some points on the other side of the ball. Aaron Jones, who has been a topic of some conversation on the podcast and everywhere else, blows up 28 points. And this is a player who, much like Jonathan Taylor, is looking like, hey, this is why we drafted them.
Yep.
So,
and then if, Juju Smith-Schuster, it's 2 weeks in a row, if I'm not mistaken, and he's put up very good numbers. If he's really coming around, watch out for the rifle.
Yeah.
I mean, they got Josh Allen as a quarterback, best, number one at his position. And then with Derrick Henry, Aaron Jones, Debo, not too shabby.
Not a bad team,
Not at
right?
all.
They're looking good, and they're doing it at the right time as we are past the halfway point, and they move into 4-3. Our number one team, Boston Beans, stays number one. They put up the week's high score, as I believe we've said this before on more than one occasion. The week's high score, taking out former Denver Soaring Eagles, now Team Dumpster Fire, or just Dumpster Fire, 147-103. When you're changing your name, Walt, midway through the Sunday games to Dumpster Fire, there is there's some concern for the ownership.
Yeah, the white flag is halfway up the post right now. It's not good, and it's tough. It's sometimes you get into this rut, and no matter what you do, you just nothing works out, and I'm starting to feel that way for the Dumpster Fire.
Yeah, it's hard. I mean, they're 2-5 now. They're in 9th place. While Boston Beans stays cemented in first at 5-2. Dumpster Fire has twice as many wins as I do, so it's not hopeless. And there are, as we've just discussed, there are these teams now that are just one game ahead of Dumpster Fire.
Yeah.
That looked like they wouldn't even be close as the teams were performing a couple weeks ago. So there's hope. There's hope for a two-win team right now.
Yeah, and I mean the only concerning part, I guess, is I think if you look at points scored, Dumpster Fire might be down there a bit. So they're gonna need, the receivers need a little work. But hey, Heineke, he had Scary Terry on the bench. I think he's a much better player with him.
Mm-hmm.
So there's some, I guess, light at the end of the tunnel.
Taylor Heineke, I think he just does better things for the Washington team than Carson Wentz.
Oh yeah,
there's just
absolutely,
no doubt.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so we are past the midway point, and we have come to the point in the season when every game counts. Not that they don't count early on, but you can get away with some stuff early on. You can't get away with anything now. If you want a bye in the playoffs, you have to continue to go hard. Mm-hmm. You have to make your moves. We have teams making moves, Walt, and do you want to start looking at the mid-season report card?
I think so. I think, and I propose, because some I think might be, pretty easy to grade, I think we should add effort as a, like school, a 1 to 4.
Effort, all right.
1 being the best effort,
Okay.
and 4, of course.
1 to 4 for effort. Okay,
All
we'll
right.
do a grade and we'll do effort.
Correct.
All right, let me just
Because
make sure.
participation is a 1 for everyone. We got nobody who's, not trying. So
That's true, including in that trying, and we can score this. But Sox fan 7697 raises a great point that there could be name change magic for the Dumpster Fire. That's trying. Like, that has worked for so many
It
teams.
has.
So we'll talk about that when we get to them. And yes, Taylor Heineke is fun to watch with that Washington
I
Commanders
agree.
team. All right, well, where do you want to start with report cards? We've got our grades here.
Yep.
And we are ready to assign grades. It'll be interesting to see how we think about these. But I'm going to start with you wherever you want to start and give your first grade.
Yeah, let's crack right from the middle. So the number 5 team right now in standings is Huey Lewis and the News.
Huey Lewis and the News pulling it 4-3. They're currently sitting in 5th. They are playoff viable right now. How do you see this performance? They've got a 62% chance of making the playoffs.
Yeah, and then I'm looking now, I'm a tough grader. So when I see points for of 776, not really that high up compared to the other teams. So I have to knock down a little for that.
Yeah.
But the 4-game winning streak, not too shabby there.
Sure. Yeah.
And of course, I love seeing the 18 moves. That's a beautiful thing.
And like these moves, let's they acquired quite a player last week in a trade.
Cooper Kupp.
Cooper Kupp. So they went hard and they made a good trade that they think will improve their chances moving forward. So.
All right. So it's a B plus and a 1 for effort because of all the moves and the constant trying to better the team.
Yeah, I'm gonna. How am I gonna start this? I don't want to start too high. So because I don't want to start too high, and this is the first one, I'm gonna go B. It is a B plus.
I like it.
With Huey Lewis in the news, great trade partner. I'm in the habit of trading my number 1 overall pick to them year in and year out. But I see good things for them. This was a team that we were concerned about. Let's be honest. We were talking about it. It's it's recorded. If you go back in podcast history, we were concerned about Huey Lewis in the news, and now they're looking. They've done what they needed to do.
But I'll say this: Watson is still not a believer. I think Watson made him go to or end the season to finish 7th. So hey, we'll see.
Yeah, that's interesting to see the BARFF midseason grades compared to Watson. That's a pretty good comparison. Where do you want to go now?
All right, let's go up to the rifle.
The Springfield Rifle pulling in. They're right now at 4-3.
Yep.
They are. Where's that? What am I looking for? They've picked up a win after a down week last week. Not a lot of moves, but I think this team came out of the draft with a good roster that just didn't perform early. Yep. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I agree with that. I think the points for speaks for itself. 831.
Mm-hmm.
That tells you scoring. I think, like you said, the moves might be more indicative of pretty solid team, so maybe there's not a need to do anything with it.
Yeah, you like your roster.
Yeah.
Play your roster.
What are you going to do, right? Exactly.
Yep.
One thing I'll say, the points against are pretty low.
780 points against. Did they skip a week? I'm not sure. Does anyone play the Springfield Rifle?
Yeah.
I don't understand.
Lowest. That's the lowest.
That's the lowest. Good for them. Good for them.
So, this is a tough one. I like the rifle. I like they're trending upward. I think, oh boy, they're in 4th place. I mean, how can you not give them? I'm giving them a B plus as well.
B plus.
But I'm giving you a 2 for effort. You can do better.
I'm gonna go. I'm gonna also go to a B. This is a B plus because this is a great roster moving coming out of the gate. Didn't need a lot of tweaking, but I'm gonna, and I'm biased here. I'm gonna say maybe you've gotten a couple of hops go your way with this points against that other people have not gotten those same hops. So looking forward to the Springfield Rifle moving forward. Solid performance at the midway point.
So what about effort?
Oh yeah. So how are we doing this? 1 is good and 4 is bad.
1 is the best. Yes.
I'm gonna go 2 because they're just, again, I can't. If you're not making moves, it's hard to tell. So I think the effort is there, but I'm going to go 2. Let's see how we do at the end of the year.
That's right. And always room for improvement.
Always room for improvement.
Exactly.
Yeah.
All right. So we went that way. Let's go to worst team ever.
Worst team ever is, hold on, let me just double check here before I move on too far. I don't want to leave anyone behind, and we are not. So worst team ever has now dropped. They lost one this week. They're down to 3-4, not where they wanted to be, and they are still sitting in 6th place. They are still fantasy relevant. They have a percentage of making the playoffs of 59%, which is about 58% higher than some other teams in the league. Walt, what grade does worst team ever get?
So again, good points for, pretty high points against, which I think is indicates too that some tough luck there that's going on. Yeah. You look at the moves, a little low on the moves. Maybe in this one we say attitude is another mark, because this would be a 4 on attitude. But we're not saying that.
I got to come up with a graphic for these. This has to. We have to have a report card graphic.
So I'm sticking with a hard B for worst team ever. The team, it's there. I see the potential, but it's not living up to it right now. So C's the best I'm giving it. And effort, I'll give it 2. I think there could be a little more done.
I'm gonna keep. I might as well just keep this out for a while. I'm gonna go B also. This is not a B plus though. This is just a B. Worst team ever. needs like they've been here a great podcast guest week in and week out for worst team ever. But this thing with Jonathan Taylor, if Jonathan Taylor's not working out, what are you doing?
Right.
Not a lot of moves. They're doing well. I'm gonna go again. Not a B plus, a B and a 2, and that is a 2. This is maybe a little bit of a homer too in terms of effort.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. If Jonathan Taylor was on the dumpster fire, he'd have been traded for.
Right.
Right. Cam Akers.
For Christ's sakes, I traded Cooper Kupp, and there's not a damn thing wrong with him.
Exactly.
So, yeah.
Yep. I
All right.
agree. All right. Well, going the other way. Of course, I'm biased, but Born to Run.
Born to Run. So I'm gonna jump on this one. Born to Run is 5-2. Of our 3 5-2 teams tied for first, you are sitting in third place based on points for. You're right now you are 4 straight wins and pulling in with a very healthy points for. So I'm saying that this is good management. There's a lot of moves. There's 14 moves that are going on. This is a team that's not standing pat and is doing what needs to be done to win. Right now, this is tied with Huey Lewis for the longest winning streak in the league at the right time. So I'm going Born to Run an A.
Oh.
Not an A plus. And it's not just because you're sitting here. Believe me, League. I'm so jaded with fantasy football, I'd throw D's and F's around if I could. But how can I, when you're tied for first place and you have a healthy points for it, you just have 2 juggernauts sitting in front of you, and you're on a 4-game winning streak heading past the halfway point. Well done, sir.
Well, thank you. And I'll rate myself just for the Sox fan. I will give myself as well as an A minus, and I think because I was scoffed at for my running backs, I do like that comment. Worst team ever failed MCAS. I don't think I can debate that comment. But I think that was, I put those 2, like I said, I stashed them, and I think it's working out. So it's easy to say, yeah, I give myself A minus because it did work out, but it is. So yeah, I'm pleased.
Very good.
All right, now we go to the pant loads.
Sody pant loads, traditionally fighting up at the top. All of a sudden, pulling in with a losing record. It's been, I think it's just, this is something positive to say about the pant loads, is that when they have a losing record, it raises an eyebrow. 2 straight losses in this, now that we're past the halfway point, 3 and 4. How do you grade this owner?
I mean, unfortunately, right, when you raise the bar higher and then you start having this, you tend to get graded a little tougher, right? So for the pant loans, unfortunately, good points for, not bad. Points against are kind of high. The moves are just about the middle with 8. But when you're the pant loans, I expect a lot more.
Yeah.
So C plus for the pant loans.
For Sody pant loans.
And, I would say the effort's there. He lives and breathes BARFF, so I'll give him a 1 on the effort.
All right.
But he's got to do better. This is the pant loans. There's a legacy here.
There is a legacy. This is a team that's competing overall for BARFF accolades historically. I'm going to go straight B, not B plus, not B minus. A straight B. Low in the moves, but you have a good roster, so why screw with it too much? But, when you're 3 and 4 and you've lost 2 now, maybe that will change. Sody's made 8 moves on a season. Will they start to look elsewhere, or will they stick to their guns? That'll be a determination for the next round of grading. I'm gonna go. It's hard. I'm keep going 2 on the effort. I'm gonna go 2.
Yep.
But I know that the heart is there. It's hard. It could be a 1. Yep. But I'm gonna go 2, and hopefully when we talk about this later in the season, that'll be an easy 1.
But if we were grading attitude on this one, maybe a 2-3. potentially. I heard a lot of rumblings about Freiermuth after that game, so maybe a poor attitude.
Sox fan 7687 weighs in with C stands for championship,
Wow.
right there.
There you go.
I think I'm going to score that for effort and move my 2 to a
To a
1.
what? I agree.
Well, I mean, if I can give Sodi credit for Sox fan 7687's,
They're two different people.
they're 2 different people. Yeah,
Correct.
yeah. I don't
Yep.
want to. I tend to
It's
combine
easy. Yes.
their efforts. Jordan, the owner of Dumpster Fire, is weighing in with Beans cheated. No way, Josh Jacobs is the same person as last
boy.
year.
Ain't that the truth?
Yeah, we'll talk about the Beans shortly. Walt, where are we going with grading?
All right, now we're going up the ladder. No lineup needed.
No lineup needed. 5 and 2. Second place team tied in that 3-way spot for second. Points for 933
Nice.
puts them in second place. They've won 2 in a row, past the halfway point.
Yep.
They've made 9 moves, looking to improve their lineup. They were throwing trades to me, trying to get that Cooper Cup trade done. Walt, what's your grade for no lineup needed?
I mean, I like what I see out of that team. It's a solid team. I'm going to give them just a straight up A.
Yeah.
I'm impressed. The team looks good. The moves are there. Gets a nice solid 1 for effort.
Boom.
Yep.
An A also for
Yep.
no lineup needed. I'm gonna say I'll do a little history here. Christian, like no lineup needed, was a little set it and forget it in the past. This is a team that's being run intelligently. There are moves. There's a lot of effort being put in. This is a 1 for effort for me. He's plugged into his team, and we talk about when is going to be the year for no lineup, and we were talking about them last year. So I think this, the same as I was saying last year, this could very well be the year for no lineup.
I feel it's going to happen.
Yeah.
No lineup needed has been knocking on the door. And, I mean, this is that diamond in the rough.
Yep.
You're seeing the diamond now. That
Yep.
no lineup needed has gotten serious, and they've definitely have made an impact in BARFF now.
Yeah,
so.
the knowledge of fantasy football
Yep.
is just, I mean, it's there. The football IQ, they call it for players. For owners, this is
Yep.
why you get an A for no lineup.
That's exactly right.
All right, where are we going now?
Okay, now it gets a little rougher. The Whopper Moppers.
Oh boy. Whopper Moppers are now at 3 and 4. They have lost 4. So good for them. At one point they were 3 and 0, which by the way is 2 wins more than I have already. But 4 straight losses, sliding into the second half of the year. They are part of a little bit of a glut at 3 and 4 for the teams that are really fighting it out for a playoff spot. 817 points for is not amazing for this
Not at all.
league. And the 796 points against is also not terrible. Walt, grade this performance.
Yeah, so that's I guess, the smoking gun. When you're 817 and you only had 796 scored against you, and you only get 3 wins, that's not good.
The dog is alarmed.
Even
the
Denver,
dog is alarmed.
Even Denver
at
wants
what's
to
happening
fail.
with Whopper
Yeah,
Moppers.
exactly.
Come here. We'll talk about Whopper Moppers over here, dog.
So, yeah, I mean, the moves are there, but, I mean, you can't this could be generous because with the 4 in a row losing streak. But I'll give him a C, and I'll give him a 1 for effort. But this is, this is when the kid gets the notice sent home with them that they might be in danger.
Yeah.
This is the Whopper Moppers right now.
Yeah, I'm gonna go C, and I'm gonna give Tom a little tough love. I'm gonna go C- on this, and this is why. The effort is a 1. The result is 4 wins, 4 losses in a row. 16 moves is very high in BARFF.
Mm-hmm.
But what are those moves? He picked up. He's clearly listening to the pundits. Like I listen to these guys every week too. Isaiah Pacheco. He picks up Isaiah Pacheco. Everyone is raving about how the news Sunday morning, Isaiah Pacheco is starting this Sunday.
Yep.
People were killing themselves to get
Yep.
this guy in their lineup. And I don't know, what did he get? 4 points.
Oh,
He
yeah,
did terrible.
It was
awful.
almost non-existent.
So this could be a lot of bad luck. But I'm going to say we need more from Whopper Moppers because 4 weeks ago, this was a team that we were talking about. Are they going to make that run? Finally get out from under that that no championship situation.
He's stuck in reverse. He's going the other way, unfortunately.
Yeah, we're looking for them to turn it around.
Yep.
As we head into the deeper parts of the second half of the season.
All right. So, boy, they were waiting for me to talk about them. Let's talk about dumpster fire.
Dumpster fire.
I mean, not even
Dumpster
700
fire.
for points for,
Yeah, oh boy.
which is the lowest in the league.
Dumpster fire is pulling in. They're coming off a loss. They won last week.
Oh, yeah.
Lowest points scored in the week in the league at 699. They're 2-5. It's looking bad. They have made the most moves in BARFF. But much like Whopper Moppers, these moves are not needle movers, as people in the entertainment industry would say.
Very ineffective is what I will
They've
say.
been ineffective.
And, you know, I mean, now they've literally dropped under 100 points a week for scoring, which, I mean, you ain't getting in the playoffs if you can't even score over 100 points a week.
No.
So, you know, I think there's got to be a little soul searching going on at the Dumpster Fire HQ. I have called for the firing of the GM. Maybe it is that time. I mean, there's no other way. Is there a F in this grade? Because
There, you have all of the school grades in
well,
there. Yeah.
I'm sorry, but there's just, I mean, that is just unacceptable. You can't be under 100 points. There's the big F.
He gets the F from Born to Run.
Yeah.
On
But
this-
one for effort.
with a 1.
Well, you know what? I'm changing that. I'm calling it a 2 because the volume's there, but it's like someone just pencil whipping homework and producing mounds of paper. You know what I mean? It's not really add up. So actually, I'm making it a 2 because of the moves are just they're nonsensical. Some of them.
I'm gonna go less hard than that because for a couple of reasons. Dumpster Fire had a tough results with some players that they were counting on in the draft, and I know that pain. I'm going C. This is a borderline C minus. The effort is there. I'm gonna go 1 for effort. This guy is making trades. He's throwing it out to the group. Like, it's one thing to approach someone with a trade.
That's true.
It's another thing to, and I want to talk about throwing things out to the group in a minute. But Dumpster Fire, I believe the effort is there. I don't think that this previous championship owner is done. I just believe that there are times to be overcome, and he is within 1 game of 3 other teams right now for a playoff spot. So I'm not counting him out just yet. Let's see where we grade as we head into the end of the season.
Yeah, I think I just say Dumpster Fire. I think he made a statement. The last time he won championship, he was still drinking from a bottle. I think it was that long ago. But, so, I don't know.
It was. Listen, I can't. We'll talk about me in a minute, but yeah. So I want to show you this. Earlier today, there was some trade talk on on the text, and this has never happened to me with a phone. But I threw a text out to the group at 10:56 a.m. and it said that, but it failed to go through.
Oh wow!
So I want to point out to the league. I am offering, like I said weeks ago, my entire roster is up for review. I threw out to the league this morning. Lamar Jackson is also on the block. My phone is trying to protect me from myself and failed. I don't even understand how that happens in the modern world. It failed to send the text and let me know that when I was looking at things to set up the podcast tonight. I saw that it didn't go through because I was a little curious.
Yeah,
I was like, why is no one interested in Lamar Jackson?
Wow.
Yeah, that's
talk about trying to protect you from yourself.
Yeah, they're
incredible.
trying. Yeah, my phone is on my side, but I don't think that Lamar Jackson is helping me as much as my phone.
Yeah.
So let's move on to the next team.
Let's go to the Beans.
Let's go to the Beans. Boston Beans.
I mean,
our top team.
Yep, 977.
And have been for some time.
Yep.
Now I'm in a totally different league here. Hold on. 5-2. The most points, like we talk about this team every week. Who scored the most points this week? The Beans. The Beans are in first place. The Beans remain in first place.
Mm-hmm.
This is a team that came into the draft with a plan. They had a solid strategy, and they are certainly getting the job done. Walt, how do you see the Boston Beans in terms of grades?
He'll like it. I'm all gassed up on the Beans. They're, 977. points for, and they have a pretty high points against.
Yeah.
So 5-2 with that points against.
Yeah.
I mean, it's impressive. The moves, I think the moves I understand. I mean, it's a pretty solid lineup.
Yeah, why mess with this?
Yeah, I would like to maybe get a little more aggressive because, as I said, you can't get complacent no matter what in the BARFF. So, Tony gets an A+, probably the first time in his life he's ever gotten an A+ for anything. But he's probably the most happy about getting it here than anywhere else. And I'll give it 2 for effort. I think, like I said, you just can't get complacent no matter what. You can't rest on your laurels. You should always be trying to improve. He's trying to hit the word count in an essay.
D for dumpster fire, Ant says. We'll go back to Denver. Soaring Eagles, also known as dumpster fire. Now I take after my city's QB. That's a dig at Russell Wilson. But it's a much deserved dig. Bean's got an A+ in Jim once. Sox fan 7687 says, and so I will give them. Who knows what side of this paper? It's another A, and I will say this is an A+. And I'm going to give them a 1 for effort, and I don't see complacency. I see this team as just putting a great lineup and moving players from the bench that need to win every week, and they're doing the right thing.
They are doing the right thing.
That's exciting for me to see. It's good that someone can win.
Hey, Sox fan, could you either confirm or deny it was during the bocce session in gym that Tony got the A+? I heard he's a hell of a player.
He might have gotten an A+ in bocce.
Yeah, I heard he's a hell of a player.
I'm jealous for that also. He's trying to hit the word count in an essay. I don't even know what's happening. Go there.
All right.
So we only have one team.
We only have one team left, and so let's look at it.
Anyone that wants to weigh in.
Yeah.
No one is called in, which I don't even have the phone plugged in, so it's good because we'd be like, why isn't the sound working for that either?
So let's be analytical about it. 744, which is 45 points more than dumpster fire. Okay.
Yeah.
But the points against, I mean, it's not even close.
Yeah, I've gone under 100 3 times. And some of my better performances have still been losses. And I'm 1-6. People are going to be on me like they were last year when I traded Travis Kelce about trading Cooper Kupp. I was 1-5 with Cooper Kupp. And so what do you want me to do?
Exactly.
Yeah. So I'm 1-6. I'm 2 games behind the teams that are fighting for the last playoff spot heading into the back half of the season. 7 games is our stick. 6 can make it sometimes. It's almost impossible. No, it's impossible. And the part that depresses me most about a season like this is that when I say I'm playing spoiler, and I think I said that 3 weeks ago, I will likely spoil, not like I'm going to spoil the Beans getting a bye, or I'll probably spoil someone fighting for a playoff spot, getting that final spot. And it's just a depressing year all the way around. I'm trying to make moves. I made a trade. And then Len Fournette gives me 3 points, and Mike Williams goes out hurt. So
and DK
Metcalf is hurt. I don't know. I don't know.
And it probably wouldn't matter. So this is what I'm giving you because I just did the math. You can't get an F because teams are averaging 137 points against you.
137
points against you per week.
I'd have to score 138 points a week to win.
Exactly. Yeah. So I just basically you would have to have Tony's points. Just looking at it real quick.
Yeah.
You'd have to have the number 1 team's points to overcome what people are scoring.
To have a respectable record at some point,
So I'll give you a D.
Oh, that's generous.
Because of that.
Yeah.
There's nothing you can do about that. Yeah. And absolutely, effort is 1. I mean, you've done everything you can, but luck is just not gonna have it.
Yeah, I would. So I have an F, but that's not like I have a K. And K, like we're sub F, but not even at G level. It's also synonymous with strikeout. This is an entire season.
That you struck
down the tubes.
Yeah.
I can't even. I am below spoiler tier as we addressed in the chat, and it's depressing. I put the effort in. It like my 3rd and 4th round draft picks were Cam Akers and DJ Moore. Mm-hmm. I can't. It's terrible. And so that was we're getting spammed. We're getting spammed in the chat. So that's great. That means we must
hey now.
yeah, podcast curse. Oh, Knucklehead's hurt curse continues.
Okay.
Can we grade the Cooper Cup trade? Let's grade it. Sox fan 7687 wants to talk about it. Okay. The Cooper Cup trade.
Well, I mean, it was.
I have two tradable pieces.
Yeah.
And so it wasn't about. So Jeff Wilson, it was all about Jeff Wilson Jr. And it had nothing to do with Christian McCaffrey because it happened beforehand. Jeff Wilson Jr. At the time of this trade, Jeff Wilson Jr. was 3 weeks generously away from losing his job to Elijah Mitchell. He was my RB1.
Yep.
My RB2 was in a timeshare with James Robinson that wasn't letting go. And so 3 weeks from now, I would have had essentially no running backs. So someone offers me the number 5 running back in the league at the time, whose offensive line decided to shit the bed last week. And Mike Williams for a guy who I was 1-5 with there. So you can grade it. You can call it an F. I had to do something, and I'll trade Lamar Jackson tomorrow. If anyone wants to suffer the pain of 40-point potential and 15-point actuality, then we'll do that. But that's my justification for this trade, and a good trade for Huey. I thought it was a professional trade.
No, how can you argue? I mean, you got two guys in their position who are both top 10. And Fournette's still 7 with that 3-point.
Yeah, that bomb. Yeah.
I mean, and Mike Williams, number 9.
Yeah.
I mean, it's tough to complain about that. I mean, I thought the trade was a good trade.
I needed something.
You did, yeah.
I needed something, or else I was going to end up. It could have been me plugging myself in at running back and posting a 0 because someone else would have posted a 0.
Yeah. So I mean, it's easy to play Monday morning quarterback after Williams gets hurt and Fournette gets 3 points. It's easy to scoff on it.
Right.
But let's look at the Rams, though, right?
Rams.
Oh, Cup. Yeah, he's done well, but I mean, that Rams offense isn't good.
I don't like it.
I don't either.
So my roster right now is a stash roster, and it's all comes into play on Tuesday. Yep. The trade deadline comes and go. I picked up Melvin Gordon for no reason other than I think he's getting traded.
Yep.
And Cam Akers is still on my lineup. He's illegally being held in an IR spot right now because ESPN's letting me get away with it. And if he doesn't get traded to someone, he's gone also. So I'm just hoping someone makes a trade to make these players relevant.
Yeah, I there's no question. So one of those guys are going to go, and Buffalo is a player out there.
Yeah, I'm hoping for Buffalo and Cam Akers. Yeah, I'm really hoping.
To me, it makes a lot of sense.
It does.
Yep.
I don't think that they'd take Gordon because he's Devin Singletary. They already have
correct.
Him. So
correct.
But we'll see. So
the trade deadline is going to make things very interesting for sure to see what happens.
I'm hoping that it does something positive for I don't know what I just did there for Knucklehead's land, but we'll see. We'll see. It's always interesting. So let's talk about next week as we head into the towards the end of the podcast. We've got
big game.
Big. Which game
couple
do you want to talk about first?
Couple big games.
There are some games that are gonna really set people apart. The right teams are playing the right teams this week. It's exciting.
Yeah, so we'll go look at mine. I think this is a really big game for both of us. I mean, I think it's going to be pretty close in my mind. Even the line is saying it's +2.
Yeah.
Now, if you notice, I have no quarterback in projected.
Right.
I have a new strategy.
The no quarterback strategy.
I'm just going to keep streaming a quarterback until Deshaun Watson, who I just stashed on my bench, comes back.
Yeah.
So there's my play. I've called it out.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I think it could come down to that. Brady's got to turn it around at some point and have a big game, doesn't he?
I agree.
Yeah.
I mean, that line right now is holding that whole team back. Plus, he also knows more about child custody and law in Florida than he does the playbook. But I mean, this is a 5-2 Born Run taking on 4-3 Huey Lewis in the News. This is my candidate for shootout of the week.
Yep.
And right now it's a +2 line with no Q, but it's going to be exciting. And these, if Huey Lewis pulls this off, it's one of those where it just jams up the middle more. Like there can be separation or no. This is one of those that we can look back on in the last weeks of the season and say that was a key game of the season.
Yeah, so I think it's going to come down to two things. Mark Andrews At first I thought he left the game.
He's got to bounce back,
He
right?
played the whole game. And
You scored 140 points with a zero from Mark Andrews. Yeah.
That's like incredible.
That's
so
unbelievable.
yeah, so if Andrews returns to form, I love Chase and Jefferson's matchups. I get a quarterback who gets into double digits. I like my chances.
Yeah.
So, but it's going to be close. I think it's going to be a really, really tight game.
I agree. Let's look at another game that I think is going to be really pivotal. My second shootout of the week, and I usually don't even have one. Springfield Rifle at 4-3.
Yep.
This is a streaking team taking on
That's the
Sody
other big
Pantloads,
game.
looking to right the ship.
Yep.
And this is an exciting game. A seventh ranked team in Sody Pantloads, which is unusual, looking to right the ship. How do you see this game going this week?
Well, I think I saw in the text that Call of Duty, the new version is coming out. So Kyle's already discounting Kyler Murray, saying he'll be preoccupied playing Call of Duty.
He might be.
I think he could be
He'd be
right.
tired.
But he gets his whole team back. You got Diggs, Devontae Smith. You got Pierce, who's showing up now. You got Dalvin Cook.
Yeah.
I like what he's got. Aaron Jones against Buffalo, extremely tough matchup. I think even Josh Allen against Green Bay, that could be a tougher matchup. I'm going to give the Pantloads. I think this is where they right the ship, and now they get to win in another close matchup.
Yeah, they're coming off bye week hell, and
Yep.
we'll see. This is going to be an exciting game. So good luck to both. Let's look at the Whopper Moppers sliding so hard. 4 straight losses after 3 straight wins. Can they right the ship taking on this season's juggernaut, Boston Beans, our top team, top points scored, and just having to pick their quarterback? How do you see this one going? Is there a chance for Whopper Moppers in the upset this week?
I do think there's a chance. I'm not loving it. The part I do like, if I go with the Brady coming back and having that big Mike Evans, maybe has a really nice bounce back game. A.J. Brown against Pittsburgh's horrendous pass cornerback, pass defense.
Yep.
Dak against Chicago, but then Mostert against the porous Detroit defense. So I think they can make a run at it, but when it's all said and done, I just don't see him beating the Beans.
It's hard to beat the Beans. Yeah, I mean, we'll root for the underdog because the Beans don't need any help right now, but they've got a tall order ahead of them to knock off Boston Beans right now. Boston Beans is not only looking good, but they've got everything going their way.
Yep.
So that's what you want.
Exactly.
We'll see who they start at QB. Be interesting. I think I know who they're going to start. I know that it's probably not the guy from Miami.
No, I don't think so.
Whopper Mopper's also working against them. Sox fan 7687 is weighing in with some inside information. The spam account, which was for a free chat, is Tom's burner, according to Sox fan 7687. We may have to have a league investigation. Clearly, we have our firewall has been broken, so we're gonna get our IT people on this immediately, and there may be some penalties.
Hey, I'm pleased that other people are maybe paying attention to the podcast. So.
Listen, if it's a hacker in Bulgaria right now that is trying to insert themselves into the podcast, I say welcome. If I could say it in Bulgarian, if that's even a country anymore, I would say it.
Any press is good
welcome.
press.
That's
so,
right. That's
absolutely.
Right. Let's look at worst team ever's win this week over Knuckleheads. Worst team is coming in at 3-4, taking on the 1-6 Knuckleheads. They're clearly going to blow up for 180 points and beat the Knuckleheads. And so, is there anything else that needs to be said?
I mean, there's a lot of check marks for worst team ever.
There are.
When you look at that matchup,
yeah.
I mean, this is the week I predict Jonathan Taylor rights the ship and
right?
scores, like 30 points.
Yeah.
The matchups are splendid for worst team ever. Yeah. So it's going to be.
That's gross.
It's, I mean, we got to figure out who you're going to plug in for DK.
Yeah.
It's tough.
Yeah, DK. Yep, not good. Lamar Jackson could also score more than 13
if he's still there.
That would be terrific. He might be traded.
Might be gone.
Yeah, might not have to worry about DK if I can swing a trade for Lamar Jackson. So that's enough of that. Let's look at no lineup needed. 5-2. We just gave them great grades in their report card. Taking on Dumpster Fire. Dumpster Fire is looking to redeem themselves. Neither of these teams has anyone in their lineup right now. There's buys. There's all kinds of weirdness going on with both. But how do you see this one going? Does Dumpster Fire right the ship and jump into that 3-win mess this week?
I look at this. And even with a full lineup loaded for dumpster fire, they're only projected, 89 points?
But they don't have a quarterback.
Oh.
Neither team has a quarterback.
So that's, interesting.
That's what Christian was offering to go no QB
Oh,
for both teams.
I like it.
Yeah, it's interesting.
I like that.
Normally, I would not allow anything other than 9 players on a team as commish, but if 2 teams want to agree to go 8 on 8, as long as it's agreed to and it's the same, I say go for it.
So I will say this: if I had to pick an upset special, this could be it, because the bye week is no lineup. It hurts a lot. Patrick Mahomes, Austin Eckler, and no Keenan Allen, and then it just you got you're relying on Christian Kirk. One break maybe for no lineup is Zeke Elliott may not be able to go, so Pollard's the guy. That's kind of nice. But if DeAndre Swift can actually play a game, and I see Scary Terry kind of coming around, and you got Mixon with a pretty good matchup. If he can pick a decent plug-in, streaming quarterback, it looks like I got competition. So I think I need to pay attention.
I've been slacking on the practice reports, but if I'm a betting man, I don't think DeAndre Swift practiced today.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I was listening yesterday, and they were saying that they were unsure and if he was going to go into Detroit this week. So
he gets to go back to maybe Jamal Williams and fumble at the
I'm
goal
hoping
line.
with DeAndre Swift, you never know. But the talk yesterday on the broadcast were not positive.
That's good for him.
Playing.
Yeah.
So that's
unfortunate.
Heartbreaking. Yeah. Yep. I mean, that's a talented guy that's so frustrating and is probably directly responsible for this record right now.
I mean, he picked him early. Exactly. And but buyer beware on him. That's his rap, right?
Yeah.
He can't stay healthy. He has not been able to do that. So
it's not Cam Akers.
It doesn't do you any good when he gets hot at the end of the year and you're already out of the playoffs. Right? It's
true. It's hard. It's mathematically everyone's in play, but Christian agrees his team is light. His team is light right now, and is he primed for the taking?
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Upset special alert.
Could be.
He's on the alert, so we'll see.
Could be. Jordan's given some insight. We're gonna have to interview Dumpster Fire's owner on this investigation into the spam. Tom, what are you doing? No, we're not. We're just picking on Whopper Moppers. It's fine. I don't really believe you're responsible for the spam. I believe it's just a glut of new viewers that are bringing that on.
It's a good thing.
All right, and so that is next week. We covered all of the games.
We're good.
Yeah, so we did our first midseason grades. That's a great bit. I liked it, and we'll circle back and we'll do an last week of the regular season, first week of the playoffs when we have those 2 buys. We'll fill that space with some more grades. Yeah.
Final. Yep.
That was good. So thanks to everyone. The chat was pretty hot tonight. We had spam, which I like also for some weird reason. It just makes me happy that we had spam. And now we said it earlier. Well, every game is real. Like there's no I'll throw something away. You got to try because every win counts. Whether you're looking for you're jockeying for position like you and 2 others are doing, or you're fighting for that spot, which the majority of the league is doing. Every week counts now. There's no more screwing around.
And again, you want to get to that magic number. Once you're in, who knows?
Yep.
Anything can happen. So it's just get in.
Yep. And anyone that wants to make a trade, every single player in the Knuckleheads is on the block. All right.
Love it.
That is our show for the week. Thanks to everyone that waited in the chat. Walt, great to have you in the studio tonight. Good show.
Good show.
All right. Good luck to everyone fighting for
playoff
spots. Good luck to all.